Chaturmas is very important time of the year. Why? How it is designed and what is significance. So I would like to start with a slide. So significance of Chaturmas. The whole year, it contains three Chaturmas. The summer Chaturmas, which is Grishma Kal. Winter Chaturmas, Sheet Kal. And rainy Chaturmas, Varsha Kal. So all these three Chaturmas, if we divide a year in three, then there are three Chaturmas. But popular Chaturmas is rainy Chaturmas. If we talk, okay, we are going in Chaturmas, it means people there and then understand it is rainy Chaturmas. Otherwise, we don't discuss much about it. Though there are these Chaturmas, but why the rainy season has given so much importance? So there is some answers. The duration of Chaturmas is also important. But the Chaturmas, main Chaturmas, the rainy Chaturmas is a balancing Chaturmas. Balancing what? It balances heat and cool. Symbolically, if we try to understand, in our mind, we have heat of 4 kasayas, 4 kashay. They create our mind very angry, egoistic, deceit, greed. All these 4 kashay create some heat. And where there is heat, there is binding of the karma. You know, if food is outside, it gets germs and virus, rotten, and one day you have to throw. But if you put in the fridge, might you can use 2-3 days. And when you put in the deep freeze, then might many months it can survive, you can use it. So shaving from the heat and also from the cold. Extreme cold is not good for the balance. So the Varsavas, Chaturmas is also known as typical one word, that is Varsavas. In Jain Agamas, the Varsavas is very, very important. And once Bhagavan Neminath, he visited Dwarika, and Dwarika was very famous city. Nowadays, if in the worldwide we talk about London or New York or Tokyo, they are famous cities, metropolitan cities, and very famous due to their business, due to their economy, and due to their education center. Similarly, Dwarika was very famous. And Krishna Vasudev was king there. So when Bhagavan was there, Krishna raised a question, "O Lord, why you have given so much importance to this Chaturmas? There are equally summer Chaturmas, winter Chaturmas, but why rainy season given so much importance?" And each and every thing in Jain congregation, behind there is some reason. So Lord Neminath given some reasoning behind the Chaturmas. So it is a time for sadhana and dharma and making a balance. When rain comes, it cools the heat. And when rain comes, it make a balance on for the winter season. So this is the season which balance the two extreme heat, extreme cold. So this could be balanced by this. Second thing, Chaturmas is important for Dharma Radhana. Dharma Radhana, what type of Dharma Radhana? So the significance, when you do some sadhana, you need a balanced environment. So this Chaturmas creates environment. When rain comes, the peacock start dancing. And when Chaturmas start, this is Chaturmas season. And your mind and body is in a different tuning. And our mind said, okay, now I can do small fasting. Now I can do little bit more fasting because the inner situation of our body. Mainly our body has three elements according to Ayurveda, Vata, Pitta and Kapha. During this season, Pitta means bile. Bile is almost balanced. And when bile is balanced and there is no extreme heat, then our body and mind is ready for fasting. Then again question, why fasting? And I will come up on this. So this season is very important for the balancing. Second thing, when Bhagavan Neminath told to Krishna that it is a time for stay with yourself, not to go so much outside. Very technically, we are inside, we are outside. But in spiritual world, during the Chaturmas, outer journeys are stopped. For whom? Because Chaturmas Kalp is specifically for the sadhu and sadhu. The knitting of Jain congregation is very close connection of sadhu, sadhvi and shravak, shravika. When there is a car can't move in a balance without four wheels. If one wheel is punctured, then it is difficult to move ahead. Similarly, sadhu and sadhvis, sadhana, their charya, their lifestyle is so much restricted by their vows. So they depend on householders, their support. And during this Chaturmas, every Chaturmas, when they plan, okay, we need some sadhu and sadhvi. Why? It is like a lighthouse for them. As lighthouse is there, standing still, but still they can guide the ship. And they can take the direction of east, west, north, south, not to lost in the world. Similarly, during these 4 months, so each Chaturmas, duration of Chaturmas, if there is no specific time, then smallest Chaturmas is 70 days. So in Jain technical terminology, Jaganya Chaturmas, the smallest Chaturmas. The middle Chaturmas is Madhyam Chaturmas, and which is quite normal Chaturmas, 120 days. So 4 months Chaturmas. But sometime In Indian calendar, 1 month is more. So sometime our monks and nuns can do 5 months chaturmas. Otherwise, it is a kalp. Kalp means like is legitimation of the stay. One cannot, monks and nuns cannot, if they are not 70 years and more, they cannot stay longer than that limit. After that, they have to do vihar. So rest 8 months are in vihar and 4 months stable. But sometime 5 months stable. Sometime two Bhadrapad means 1 month is more. Sometime two Savan, 1 month is more. Sometime two Aswin, or might be two Kartik. But these months make a big difference in people's mind. So very, very important that when there is a season is perfect to do some spiritual development. You know, rainy season. When there is rain, there is gain. Farmers, they start farming, seedling, and they get harvest, and finally they get grains. So during this time, they try to make lot more effort. As farmers, they do effort. Similarly, Jain monks and nuns, they also do effort. This is our season time, and we feel it is a time where we can do maximum. If monks and nuns have viharacharya, then 10 to 12 or 15, 20 miles on walk barefoot. So it is a time. Then they can enhance their knowledge. It is a time they do lot more swadhyay. And you know, Jain Sastra, Jain Agam has lot more limitations. Some Agams, some Jain scriptures, we can only read during the first prayer, quarter of the day, beginning of the quarter of the day. Some sutras we can read only half day. Some sutras are just first prayer and last prayer. First quarter of the day, last quarter of the day. First quarter of the night and last quarter of the night. Rest of the time we cannot repeat that sutra. So, you know, time which is going on in Vihara, we can get time for knowledge, Gyan. And similarly, when they have less Vihara, then they can give lot more time to the congregation, to the lay followers, Shravak and Shravikas. So, enhancement of knowledge, self knowledge of the monks and nuns, and also through their discourses, through their pravachan, they can give, they can impart knowledge to the community, to the whole congregation. So it is a time for knowledge improvement, also faith improvement, darshan, the shraddha, the faith in Jain religion. When one get knowledge, constantly knowledge, then the faith is reinforced. Otherwise, faith became weak, faint. So it is a time when one have more faith because close contact of monks and nuns. Then development in conduct, charitra. So how conduct is affected? Because as I mentioned, the monks and nuns, they always try to lead their life of detachment. virakti purn, and they try to detach themselves from worldly life, and they try to attach themselves for the Vitaragata. So, they are role model. And Jain Sravak, they try to follow that. They cannot follow the whole conduct because whole conduct is 5 Mahabharat. But they try to follow the 12 vows of the Shravakas. And these vows have so much relaxation. With that relaxation, they move ahead. So, Gyanachar, Darshanachar, Charitrachar, Tapachar, and all these achar, conduct given us really a very good importance to them to develop themselves physically, mentally, and emotionally. So when we start Gyanachar, Darshanachar, Charitrachar, Tapachar, Viryachar, then our mind, body, and speech purified. You know, mind has one type of food, and that is listening. Listening, watching, contemplation, and reading, writing, all these are important factor for the mind. And in Chaturmas, lot more religious discourses, religious reading, agam vachan, and then sometimes sitting quietly, inculcating those values in the mind, so it purifies their mind. How body can purify? Yes, there are 12 types of tapas. Ansan, Unodri, all these types of. So one can start at his own level. Might be 48 minutes out of the round the clock. They can do Navkarsi, prayer, quarter of the day, half day. So there are so much to do. Purify the body. Normally people believe how much we eat, we gain strength. But I do believe, and Jain concept, if you give space to your body, if you give more time to your body, if you keep your body in a relaxed mode, because our body has all the systems. If we eating constantly, eating after one thing and another thing, or we eating some heavy food, you know, during if there is less sun and more rain, then digestion becomes slow. And if we eat less, it helps. Also, our body has some toxins and foreign matter. So if we do some tapasya, some fasting, and that is also a concept towards the physical purification. But the importance of physical purification is not that much higher. The importance of inner purification is very, very important. So one who do fasting, and nowadays there are different modes of the fasting. So fasting is also important for the body. Also, different practice of the asana, which is also kind of tapas according to Jainism, kaya klesh, and sitting in the samayik, that is also. So making your body suitable to the spiritual practice. And again, we listen so many things from monks and nuns. So that is also making a big difference in our mind and body. So it is a time. आए आए हम आए अपने घर भीतर आई, अपने घर भीतर आकर हम सदा सुखी बन जाए. The motto of Chaturmas is coming to your own center. And when we have this opportunity that there is some Chaturmas, someone is there who is responsible for you to taking in a spiritual journey. So in a song, importantly, though it is in a Marwadi language, but let me sing few lines. बड़े भाग्य शू मिलो श्राव का, थाने दिव्य प्रकाश है, करनी करनी है सो कर लो, लाग रयो चो मास है, सुनो नित्य व्याख्यान ध्यान शू, भावो पावन भावना, और करो निर्वद्य दलाली, जो संतारे चावना, कल्पा कल्प अशुद्ध शुद्ध रूप, ध्यान राखणो खास है, बड़े भाग्य शू मिलो श्रावका, थाने दिव्य प्रकाश है. So it is very, very alarming time. Bell tolls for whom? Bell tolls for our Atma. So it is a time of spiritual light. So whatever you want to do for your mind, body, and speech. Through your mind, body, and speech, you can reach to yourself, your Atma. So it is time that monks and nuns are there and try to be vigilant. If you are vigilant, you can do a lot. If you are not vigilant, you cannot do much. So purification is the crux of Chaturmas, development of mind, body, and speech. And through this mind body purification, we can move one step ahead towards our spiritual destination. So first thing, try to listen something every day, and everyday connection with the monks and nuns, everyday connection with the spirituality, that make a big difference. You know, we take food every day, we drink water every day, we do some activities every day, and that activity makes some changes and enhance our capacity. There was a saint and he was cleaning a pot. So his disciples said, Gurudev, it is a water pot. And what is the need to clean every day? No need to clean every day because water is not that sticky. It is not like a sabji or curry or roti, but it is water is water. Then he said, yes, I understand. But I do this practice every day. And you know, in UK, the water is very hard. So if there is one drop of water, it make a stain on anything. So even on the metal, on the glass, in the cup, everywhere there is stain. So Guru said, I keep in my mind, if I pure every day, then I remember I have to pure myself every day. Sometime I thought something which is not necessarily right for me or for my Atma. Sometime I speak and which is not necessarily right for me or my Atma. Similarly, some of my actions are not right for me. So when I do this exercise, it is an alarm for me that, okay, I can make some correction and some purification, and it is an alarm for me. So I do this exercise every day, and it is a reminder for me that everyday purification, everyday cleaning, everyday clearing is means I can't get much karma to bind myself. I can release myself. So, Chaturmas giving us a state, a time. You sit back and think yourself the purification of three yoga, Mano Yoga, Vachan Yoga, Kaya Yoga. And when this is done, then we can move ahead. Okay, we can go. That Atma has enormous power. You see, a small seed and it fallen down on a mountain or on a rocky side. And you see, if there is little bit sand, little bit water, little bit air, it sprouts, it comes out, and it blooms as a flower. Similarly, each and every soul has that power of free will. Through the power of free will, soul can develop itself, and the effort is there because each and every self has enormous power. Pursakar, Parakram, Bal, Virya, these terms are used in the context of soul. A soul has effort, a soul has power, a soul can develop, a soul can progress on the path of spirituality. So we should not think, okay, I'm here, I don't have that much facility, I'm there, I don't have this and that, but we can develop ourselves very peacefully, very powerfully through this season. So Chaturmas is known as Pavas Pravas, and it is also known as out of the 10 kalpas, Chaturmas is very important season for the self-development, and therefore many religious tradition, even Jain tradition, we think that Chaturmas is Jain tradition. No, it is a very Indic term and very much applied in Buddhist tradition. Buddhism also have kind of Chaturmas Pravas, but not strict as Jain monks and nuns do because of their own relaxation in their congregation or in their own rules and regulation. Similarly, Vedic tradition also have Chaturmas, but some Vedic saint they do Chaturmas of 2 months, and after that they start journeys, and some, but the Jain monks and nuns strictly follow the vows of 4 months or 5 months, and therefore there is difference. But unanimously, it is agreed that monks and nuns of all tradition, they follow strictly the path of Chaturmas in different way. And their relaxation and the rules and regulation, some cut the green vegetable, some feel that we should not eat much green because the water level of the body is already high, and if you eat more and more green might be that gone up, and water and moon has a great connection with it. and mind and body and inner metabolic rate of the body is much more affected by the water level. So it is important, and therefore there are some restriction. Don't eat much savory things, much sweet things, because the body is in a different mode. And then Jain Acharya, and they made special rules of the dietary control during the Chaturmas. And specifically, some of people, they try to minimize as much as they can. So some of them, they do ekantar tap during the Sawan and Bhadwa, and some does different type of other fasting. But fasting is also very important. As you know, these five indriyas are known as five horses, and horses without any reins, they cannot be controlled. So jnanachar, darshanachar, charitrachar, tapachar, viryachar, these are five reins. We can control our mind and five indriyas. And so there is sloka, ege jia jiye panche. One who knows, control the mind, control the self, he can get victory over the five indriyas. And when five indriyas are controlled, then the road of purification is very easy. And Swadhyay, Gyan, Darshan, Charitra, Tap, these are the ingredients for the self purification. So it is very important, at least we understand the nine elements, now tattvas. It is very important because without making the pillars, you cannot make high story, multi-story buildings. Pillars are very important. All pillars are taking the weight of it. Similarly, one has to have knowledge in a proper way. When knowledge is there and it is strengthened by the faith, okay, what I'm doing is not according to the Tom, Dick, Harry, but it is coming from the tradition of Vitarag Bhagwan, who has directly seen, perceived through their knowledge, through their Keval Gyan, and I'm following the same path, and then this faith is making a big difference in human life. So very important to understand that. And when we follow this path, then we have strong faith. Without faith, there is no gain. So Shraddha, Paramadurlabha. So in this context, we must think that, okay, we are lucky, we born in a Jain tradition. We have a tradition of Tirthankaras. They got victory on their self, and therefore we have the power and enormous energy from those Tirthankaras tradition, and this is इणमेव निगंथम पावयणम सत्यम. यह निर्ग्रंथ प्रवचन सत्य है. And I have too much or firm belief in this tradition, and then path is very easy to fly. So I uh, bestow the Gurudev's blessing on all Sravak and Shravikas. Please, it is time, and the bell toll for us. Be ready to use proper utilization of the Chaturmas period. And I conclude here. बड़े भाग्य से मिला श्रावकों, थाने दिव्य प्रकाश है, करनी करनी है सो कर लो, लाग गयो चौमास है, जान देव गुरु धर्म मर्म, नोता तुम्हारी पहचान करो, सीखो तत्व प्रवेश दीपिका, सही अर्थ रो भान करो, बढ़े मनोबल श्रद्धा शु आवश्यक ज्ञानाभ्यास है, बड़े भाग्य शु मिलो श्राव का थाने दिव्य प्रकाश है. So this Divya Prakash, it is not from anybody, but the tradition of Tirthankaras. And when we have this Divya Prakash, our path is enlightened. We are enlightened at certain level, and we can go strength to strength. So I conclude here with the blessings of Gurudev that make maximum use of this Chaturmas time and use it. Otherwise, time is flowing, time is moving. बह रहा बह रहा बह रहा रे, समय पवन ये बह रहा रे, कह रहा कह रहा कह रहा रे, सजग बनो सब कह रहा रे. So be alert, be vigilant. Bhagavan Mahavir told to Gautam, O Gautam, uthiye no pamaye. Now you are alert. Don't go in sleep. Sometime when we wake up and when we see, oh, let me sleep 5 minutes more. And then the 5 minutes conclude in 50 minutes, 1 hour, sometimes 2 hours. So, जाग गए हो, अब मत करना कभी प्रमाद, अब मत करना फिर से प्रमाद. So it is an alarm for us that Chaturmas time is there and we are alert, use and make maximum purification. So best wishes of Chaturmas for you all and your family and your friends. Om Arham. If you have any question, unmute yourself and you can ask any question. No question? Okay. Mangal part. Fold your hands in prayer pose. Close your, yeah. You have any question? Oh, so Hasit is here with newly born baby. Okay. Is there any difficulty to unmute yourself or? Yeah. Any question?
नहीं नहीं बनता है, बस हम सुन रहे हैं साथ में.
Okay, well. So, Mangal Path. Chattari Mangalam, Arhanta Mangalam, Siddha Mangalam, Sahu Mangalam, Kevali Pannato Dhammo Mangalam. Chattari Loguttama, Arhanta Loguttama, Siddha Loguttama, Sahu Loguttama, Kevali Pannato Dhammo Loguttamo. Chattari Sarnam Pavajami, Arhante Sarnam Pavajami, सिद्धे शरणं पवज्जामि, साहु शरणं पवज्जामि, केवल पन्नतं धम्मं शरणं पवज्जामि. ये चार शरणा सगा और सगो न कोय, जे भव्य प्राणी आदरे, अक्षय अमर पद होय, विघ्न हरण मंगल करण, स्वाम भिक्षुनो नाम, गुण ओळख समरण किया, सरे अचिंत्या काम, अंगूठे अमृत बसे, लब्धि तणा भंडार श्री गुरु गौतम समरिये मन वांछित फल दातार सिद्ध साधु प्रणमी करी ऋषभादिक 24 स्तवना करूं प्रमोद धरी जय जसकर जगदीश जय जसकर जगदीश जय जसकर जगदीश। आज के लिए धारणा प्रमाणे कोई भी एक त्याग आप अपने मन से ले लेंगे। ओम